Guess what we did today? What did we do, Rosa?
Are we gonna go to the park?
We went out and saw other people. Okay, one other person. I work from home, and so the quarantine has been very real for me for the past year. I just don't go out unless it's absolutely essential because I don't want to take the risk. I have a friend who's a middle grade author who lives here in Dallas. Her name is Polly Hollyoak. She is wonderful. When I moved here, she met up with me and gave me tons of great advice on school visits that were incredibly helpful and I put into practice before COVID happened. Anyway, we decided to meet up at a park, masked and keeping our distance from each other, just to walk around and talk about writing because she too has been holed up in her house and has not hung out with her friends in a year. And yeah, we decided to do it, and I took Rosa with me. She was real excited when she realized we were going someplace that was not just the dog park or our usual walks. And I really intended on getting more footage of this, but I had Rosa's leash in one hand and a coffee in the other hand and a giant tote bag around my shoulder, and I couldn't camera at the same time. But it was a great walk. We walked around for like an hour and a half and we caught up on each other's projects. She sold a trilogy, y'all, during quarantine. Publishers are still acquiring things. There is hope for all of us. I'm super excited for her. Anyway, it was just so nice to get out and to talk, and I told her a little bit about Dragon Balloon. I told her my pitch, which I still have not talked about on this channel, but I love and I want to share. In every video I make, I kind of want to be like, guys, it's this. But while I am not precious about my ideas, because ideas are a dime a dozen, everybody has ideas for books, and not many people can write them, and nobody can write my idea, just like I can't write your idea. But it's a little different when it's like a really high concept pitch. Like if I could say X meets Y to you, and you could take that and run with it. And yeah, then I might be in trouble, because when I go on sub with my X meets Y, if you already sold yours, that publisher is going to be like, oh, we already got one of those, even though our books would be totally different. Does that make sense? But anyway, I've got an X meets Y for this book that I just love. I think it is just one of those that I say it, and if you know these two things, if you know what X is and you know what Y is, you immediately see how smashing them together creates a fun, totally original new Z, let's say. But anyway, I will, maybe as I get closer to like this book being finished and my agent reading it and maybe even potentially going on sub at some point, maybe I will open up and share a little bit more about that. But anyway, so before we get into Dragon Balloon, I want to do one thing. Today is February 24th. It's Wednesday as I'm filming this. And I realized that it's almost March, which means it is almost the halfway point of the Milwordy challenge for me, because I started September 1st. It's been 6 months since I committed to trying to write 1 million words in a year. And I've sort of mostly been keeping up with my spreadsheet. I've been entering the words I write every day. But I have not, I fell off the wagon with like tracking the annual total. I have no idea how many total words I have written in the last 6 months. So let's go figure that out real quick. As you can see, I started out this endeavor with the best of intentions. Here's the day, the date, the book, the project I was working on, what stage it was in, the number of words I wrote that day. I even took notes over how I was feeling, and then I was keeping the daily total tallied here and an annual total tallied on the side. And, kept up with it for a bit, let go of the notes, within the first month. Guys, I am just not a tracker. This has been hard for me. I just forgot a lot. I frequently forgot to upload. But I kept going. I got my September total. I got my October total. And then I eventually just kind of, November, had my overall total over here. Okay, I was at 200,000 by December. And then, like, honestly, look, it was all I could do just to get my daily workouts in. December, I didn't write a lot. I also forgot to track my writing a lot, and it was a lot of brainstorming, and I didn't feel like going back and counting up the words. And so I just didn't. So I'm missing some words, and I'm just gonna make my peace with that. But I have gotten better at it now. And as you can see, I still was recording every day by the number of words I wrote in each project, but I have not been tallying the daily totals. I have not been tallying the monthly totals. I certainly have no idea what my annual total is, except I do know that, as it said up here, after November, I was at 204,338 words. So now here we are. We are pretty much at the 6-month point. I started September 1st. The last day, or today is Wednesday as I'm recording this, February 24th. So I still have a couple days left, but pretty soon here I will be at the halfway mark. So let's add all this up and see where I actually am. All right, so I'm gonna go back at the top and let's see what I did every month. September was the first month. I started this challenge on September 1st, and that month I got 115,000 words. I vlogged about this back then, but this included a lot of that video game project I was working on. The word counts were enormous. Let's see. So then October, significantly less, 65,000 words, which is still pretty friggin' great for 1 month. And quick reminder, I am including brainstorming words, outline words, zero draft words, first draft words, and rewrite words. Not revise, but rewrite. So this isn't just like draft words. I am not writing a 60,000 word novel every month. And November took a little dive. November was a stressful month. I vlogged about that too. 23,000 words. December, this is hilarious. Like, look over here at these dates. The 1st, the 2nd, the 15th, and the 16th. I wrote more days than that. Again, I wasn't really drafting a whole lot. But I did do a lot of brainstorming. I was fiddling with my dragon balloon board, my beat sheet. And I didn't count any of that. And like I said, I'm just too lazy to go add it all up now. But yeah, December, 7,000, almost 8,000 words. January, first 2 weeks of January, I was useless. And then I picked things back up the second half, 33,000. Okay, cool. And February, which is not over yet, today is the 24th. Dude, yes, almost 70,000 words this month. This has been a good month. I have been balancing a lot of projects, and I have been a lot more vigilant about keeping up with tracking my word counts here. So here is where we're at. Right now, I am at a grand total of 315,059 words for 6 months. Okay, 315,000 words. I mean, nowhere near 500,000, so I am not halfway there. And I think it is pretty safe to say I will not actually write 1,000,000 words in that year-long period. Although, I mean, maybe something will happen. Like, if the video game project comes back in full force as it did in September, then I think I'd have a chance. I just get insanely high word counts with that project. But looking at my ghostwriting projects and what I know I can handle, how many clients, how many books I can juggle at once, and also the fact that so much of my focus is going to be on Dragon Balloon, I don't know. I don't quite see it happening. But I think I can get to, I don't know, 700,000, 750,000 maybe, 3/4 Milwordy. That would be a pretty impressive feat, I think. That is a whole lot of words. And it really is interesting to me to track what I'm writing and to look at which months have a good output and which months don't. Y'all, is it not just real obvious from looking at my November and January that I allow the news and politics to dominate my mind more than I should, which is not to say that I shouldn't or anyone shouldn't follow these things, but I think I need to be better at caring and being active and doing volunteer work and trying to make the world a better place, but also living my life and doing my work and not letting it just get inside my head and take like that time away from me. I need to get better at this. Anyway, so Dragon Balloon. Here's where things stand. I have not started the Bad Guys Close In Zero draft yet, but I have been working on Dragon Balloon a lot, and I have had some breakthroughs. Yesterday, in like an hour, I made an admittedly basic but solid beat sheet for the omniscient fantasy side of the story. Like, so many things clicked. The villain, the antagonist, who is the antagonist for the book as a whole as well, not just like the fantasy story. I kind of had her arc in my head, but I figured out a secret. I love secrets. When characters finally reveal their secrets, man, you can do so many things start clicking into place. And I figured out something huge about her that just got me so excited to the point where I almost want to go back to my original idea where I'm essentially writing two stories side by side, alternate chapters. Here we are in Logan's point of view, here we are in Edda's point of view. She's kind of the main character of this fantasy thing. That was my original idea until I realized I would probably end up with like 120,000 word book, and y'all, this is middle grade. I can't do that, and I should not do that. But it's tempting now because I know that fantasy story, and I feel like I could write it as its own novel and be real into it. It's super fun. Figuring that out, like I said, at the midpoint, these stories collide, and getting all of that hashed out and figuring out that villain's secret and what's motivating her helped me figure out the ending, like better lock down the ending to that story, and that is going to help me through this Bad Guys Close In and the finale, because the bad guys are from this fantasy world, so I gotta know them, right? And I gotta know where they're coming from if they're gonna close in on the characters, on Logan in the A story, the main story. So that's the work I've been doing. Another beat sheet, essentially, like a parallel beat sheet to go, what are you looking at? To go with these stories. And it just, the side characters are starting to feel more real. I'm starting to think of more world building ideas and ways to make the fantasy world bleed into this other world that are just really fun. And one other thing, that's what it was. I remember I did scroll through my beat sheet for the main story and look at the notes I had on the note cards for the Bad Guys Close In section. Like, generally speaking, what were the scenes that I had in mind? And some of them I felt less than enthusiastic about zero drafting. And last week I mentioned Holly Lissel and her world building workshop, which I really love. She also has a saying that I really like about candy bar scenes. What are those scenes in your book that you look forward to, that you crave, you really want to write them? And why isn't every scene in your book a candy bar scene? If there is a scene in your outline that you're dreading writing because you think it's boring and you just don't know what to do with it, but it's necessary, it's not necessary. It shouldn't be there. If it's boring to you at this stage, how is it going to be interesting to a reader? Like, when we're reading a book, we don't think, oh, well, this chapter is dull, but I'm sure if I plug through it and get the information I need to get, I'll enjoy the next chapter. Like, that's not how our minds work. I close a book when I'm bored. I stop. Like, sorry. I don't have the patience, because you know what? I don't know if it's going to get better. And if this information in this chapter is that important for me to know, I don't know that either. I have no idea if this is important. All I know is that it's not holding my attention. So I went back to the Bad Guys Close In, like looking at those scenes that I had. I think I had about 6 scenes sketched out. And I was like, every single one of these is going to be a candy bar scene. So how am I gonna make this one a candy bar scene? And then the next one, what can I do to make this exciting? What can I do to make this fun? Just like fun in games, every single scene should be fun to write. The bad guys closing in is not fun for your characters, but it should be really, really fun for you. So that's where I am now. I guess it does help me when I set little goals for myself during these vlogs, because I kind of feel like I have to hold myself to it. I don't want to shame vlog the next week that I didn't meet my goal. So I'm gonna say for next week, I would like to have a 0 draft of those 5 or 6, I can't remember, scenes in Bad Guys Close In. And what comes after that? All Is Lost, Dark Night of the Soul, and then break into 3, and we're heading into the finale. Yeah. So yeah, that's my goal. Next Friday, all Bad Guys Close In scenes done, starting the All Is Lost scene. Let's see if I can get there. That is gonna be it for this vlog. I hope you guys are having a great week and have a great weekend. And let me know how your projects are going in the comments below. And I'll see you Monday with another video. Bye.